worst thing you can do is park next to a busy street to record these things. And I record out of my car, so yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so a while back, guys, I used to have a podcast called CFM, Conspiracy Fears and Mysteries, right? I had that podcast for like 3 years, I think. A ton of episodes. I had it on Anchor. Then they switched to what it was, Spotify or whatever, and then got crazy. I did a lot of episodes, and I kind of closed it down. I think the episodes are still out there. Maybe they might be. I haven't checked on it in so long. But it was, I'm big on conspiracy theories, on all that stuff like that, right? So since I was young, I've always liked a good conspiracy, whether it be government stuff, ghost, aliens. I believe in aliens and all that. I know it's crazy to think that, but I do. And, I just always been into that. It's just always something like, I don't talk about it with everybody because people who like aren't into that stuff or who are, what are they, skeptics. I can't even say that word because I'm not a skeptic, but the skeptics that are against people who believe in anything, they're weird. So it's hard to talk to them because they're just like, you know what I mean? That's what it is, and that's it, and that's it. There's nothing else in life. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of boring to live. And they were saying it'd be boring to think that that's it, that this is it. This is it. It's boring. So I try to make my life not boring. You know what I mean? But anyway, we got a video here that I got on X. I downloaded it from X. I started seeing it. And I thought it'd be interesting to share with you guys, the guys that are skeptics. I know people come here a lot of times just watch me react to music stuff and things, but there's other things out there, man, and it's crazy. Anyway, let's go ahead and watch it, and I'll comment on it.
A lot of people, when you say terrorists,
died the following. This man's name is Joseph Spencer. He recorded this interview in 1989. He was dying, and he actually died the following year in 1990. It's the only time he's ever talked about this on camera. It's about 14 minutes long, and I'll just show you a few clips. But he's ex-CIA, and more importantly, he claims to be ex-Men in Black. And just check out what he's saying here.
This transition in my life happened in 1970. The senior black project director was William T. Latham, who had worked under CIA Executive Director Richard Schlesinger. Latham stated that I was the perfect candidate for my new position. I was a foster child, and I had no connections to existing relatives. I had no friends or social life. It was easy for them to erase my past and provide me with a new identity. I gave myself to them as a priest would to his God. But first, my mind had to be erased.
I've heard about that before. They did that project back in the days. It was called, God, I can't remember the, I did an episode on that too. Well, I briefly talked about it. Not Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was with the aliens. It was a project, it was to declassify any UFO, to investigate and try to declassify it. I mean, not declassify, debunk it. It was some mind control project that happened before this, because he said 1980, 1979, whatever. That was before that. That's when they were experimenting with mind control and, using different drugs and stuff.
I was injected with various forms of mind-altering drugs, LSD, heroin, mescaline, morphine, sodium pentothal, and more. Drug-induced hypnosis followed with antegrade and retrograde amnesia. The goal was to program me to do two things: kill and forget.
Ooh. Ooh.
After 9 months of programming, I had become a man in black. What I later discovered was that not all the men in black were human. About a third were alien hybrids. Their distinctive feature was the absence of whites in their eyes, giving the impression of empty eye socket.
That's crazy, because I never heard of the... I mean, I kind of have. I guess they talked about it where it's like the men, some of the men in black, or the men in black are half aliens or aliens or whatever, but some are actual humans. But Men in Black, I think the reference Man in Black, it could be because of those eyes, or it could be. I don't think it's necessarily the suit. Whenever we hear Men in Black, we think of the movie. We think of Will Smith and the black and white suit. But I think the black could also mean they black their minds out. You know what I'm saying? Their mind's black. It's just nothingness. It's just dark. You know what I mean? No, like, meaning no feelings, no anything. You just mindless. You know what I mean?
This unsettled me, and it took months to adjust to the reality of alien integration. My assignments largely dealt with UFO sightings and crash sites. In August of 1971, I witnessed my first UFO crash site just north of Edwards Air Force Base in California. Inside the craft were 3 grayed humanoids, 2 dead, 1 still alive. Also in the craft was a human female abductee. The alien humanoids were transported to the base, but 2 witnesses had arrived before us and took several photographs. The first surrendered his camera, but the second fled. When we apprehended him, he resisted, and I was ordered to silence him, which I did. The killing of witnesses was executed with a wand that acted very much like today's taser, but the voltage from the...
Wow, he basically had to off somebody, that some witnesses that were out there taking pictures. So, and he said he used the wand. And again, I go back to, we watched the movies Men in Black, and we're thinking the wand where you look at it, boom, and the light, and you forget everything. But what he's saying, no, we had a wand, but it was like a taser, probably gave you whatever thousands of volts or however they used it, and and we do have those. Those do exist. And it just knocked you out, and then he killed you, or you died from that, or they put your body somewhere, whatever the case may be. The other one surrendered his camera, so they didn't kill him. But those are the people that surrender, like the people like that. Like, for example, let's just say this happened, right? I can believe it did, but those people, right, that go through that actually witness and, okay, they didn't kill him, they let him go, but they took all the evidence he had. They come out as whistleblowers, or they come out as, and they put out, hey, look, this happened, I wrote a book. Those are the people that there's a Project Blue Book was to make people like that, any evidence, to collect any evidence, to debunk everything. So people like that will come out and say something, right? And, they're a witness to something. They'll come out and say something, but then they'll be, called crazy and all kinds of shit. So they'll call them, conspiracy theory, he's crazy. Are there crazies out there? Of course there are. But I believe there are witnesses to things. And we just refuse to, we just refuse to listen to them. It's hard to believe them, because if that is true, I think people are scared to believe. People are scared to believe. That's why you have atheists. People are scared to believe. That's where it is, because then your whole thought and everything you've ever learned changes. And you feel like, I just wasted my whole life learning, and this is the truth.
Wand would cause immediate cardiac arrest, and the victim's death would be attributed to natural causes. We silenced countless victims, not only men, but women of all ages, and even teenagers. The following day, after each kill, our memories were reset, so we would have no recollection of the murders. A good majority of the victims were ufologists and whistleblowers. Among the ufologists I personally silenced were Paul William Cooper, Milton DeGay,
oh my God,
Claude Monroe,
you're lucky I don't have my iPad.
Anthony Vargas, and noted documentarian Samantha Willis. When my wand malfunctioned with Samantha, I resorted to strangulation. She fought for her life for almost 2 minutes.
Samantha
Willis.
Willis.
Recalling this act, I stared into her pleading eyes for the entire duration with absolutely no remorse, guilt, or feelings.
Samantha Willis.
That was how effective the mind conditioning was. And it's her face that haunts my dreams more than anyone's to this day.
So they stuffed out a
Wow.
documentarian.
Yep.
Samantha
Well,
Willis.
that's not good to hear.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on. 1954, Dwight Eisenhower signed what's known as the Granada Treaty with the alien gray race.
I've heard
In
about that
exchange
too.
for shared alien technologies, the Greys were allowed to abduct a number of humans annually for medical examination. The Greys also demanded anonymity from the public. A short time later, human technology took a giant leap forward with circuit chips, fiber optics, and lasers. The Granada Treaty is still active today, but the number of human abductions has increased, despite objections from the world governments.
Yo, I always say that. I'm like, yo, we went from like, it's like the timelines are crazy because it's like, you hear all these timelines like, oh, dinosaurs are whatever million years ago. And then within those million years, you got whatever million years of this type of animal, then whatever million years of this type of dinosaur, then they evolved to this, whatever. Then you go from, you know, the beginning of man, you know, in the Bible, which is only a couple thousand years ago, to now, right? And it's like, okay, which one do you believe? Because this, I don't know if this wouldn't fall under religion because it would fall under science, right? So then, if you believe this, either one you believe, the time frame from where we were to where we are now is really short. Like, as far as in technology, you know what I'm saying? From when we were using, you know, basic tools to now recording on our phones. My whole life, our whole lives is in the palm of our hands. This right here can call people. I can call people from my glasses. I mean, I can do bank transactions from my glasses. If I call my bank and tell them, hey, just move money around. I can buy a house from my glasses, from my phone. You know what I mean? I've seen doctors through the phone. The technology is ridiculous. Putting rockets up and bringing them back down and catching them. The technology is ridiculous.
Now, the really interesting part. Every year, at least 8 million children go missing in the world. I can attest that 1/3 of them are abducted by government operatives and transported to any one of the 1,477 underground military installations on the planet, then imprisoned for the remainder of their lives. The children are subjected to biological and genetic experiments, dissections, and mutilations performed not by human scientists, but an alien gray species. During my stay at the Vanguard Underground Base north of Phoenix, Arizona, I witnessed many of these procedures. Because there was no form of anesthesia administered to the young patients, the halls reverberated with the screams of tortured children from morning to night. The ones that perished were incinerated in the installation's crematoriums. My point of contact at this base was Lieutenant Colonel Charles T. Leninger, and he was a human-alien hybrid.
Oh,
And get ready for this. In 1994, the World Population Summit in Cairo, Egypt, had 160 nations participate, where they all agreed that the human population was out of control and must...
Hold on, man. There's some people out there that I believe are alien. I always said that. Like, this motherfucker's not from this world, bro. Some people I'm just dissing, but some people I think like, oh, something's going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people I believe are just, I don't know. But that's crazy. Wow. Listen. It would make sense. I want you to think about it. Like, pretend you believe in aliens. If you're an alien race, right? There's another race sub to you that you want to explore, you want to discover, you want to whatever. You even want to rule. You're not going to disturb it. Right? What you would do, what I would do is I would put plants, meaning I would plant a being, a person, whatever, however, in key places, especially key places, key positions of leadership, so that I can, and not even just leadership, I'd put some around the population too, here and there, depending, but in places of leadership, so that my mission, what I'm doing, my mission, what I'm doing with your population, with your earth, with your species, does not get out. You know what I'm saying? I have somebody there, I have some people there that from my species that are looking, so that I can create these Project Blue books and things like that, to make people who find something out look crazy. If they find something out, just say they're crazy. You hear this guy, he's talking about it. Make it look crazy, and then make people think that believing in that is crazy. That's why a lot of the population, you know, when we hear something about it or whatever, they just dismiss it, they laugh. We make movies about it, make fun of it, you know, cartoons, whatever. It's a psyop. It's a form of psyop. It's to guilt you into believing. So you're never gonna. No, the majority of people aren't gonna look into this. They're not gonna believe it. They're not even. They may watch it and be like, I'm not, whatever. They're not gonna believe it because we're conditioned to believe that if we do believe this, it's crazy. We're nuts. We're stupid. You may even lose your job if you question anything. You know, it all depends. So it's working, guys. It's working.
We stopped because the world is running out of resources. An agreement was formed that would mandate the reduction of humans from 6 billion to 800 million by the year 2030. This meant finding a method or methods to wipe out nearly 95% of the population. Solutions were discovered, investigated, tested, then created, and have been in full force since. The procedures have been inflicted onto the human race are as follows. 1. Toxic levels of chemically enhanced fluoride have been secretly added to our drinking water over the last 20 years in every city and community on the planet. I personally oversaw the delivery of fluoride barrels to Denver, Chicago, Tampa, and Minneapolis water departments. The adverse effect.
But the fluoride is bad, bro. We got fluoride in our water. I don't know why. The water here tastes. I lived in Italy and lived in Dominican Republic. I lived in different places. And he said worldwide, but like, I don't think it's in Italy. I don't think they have fluoride in the water there, because I drank the water in Rome. I lived there. I lived in, you know, on Puglia, and like, the water didn't taste like that. Not even the bottled water. It tasted different. You know what I mean? Here it tastes like it tastes. We're used to it. We think we're drinking good stuff, but it has fluoride in it. Most of it, at least. But that is bad. Hopefully this administration that's coming in can fix some of that and nothing happens. Hopefully.
The fluoride poisons in the human body are numerous and debilitating. The effects to children is damage to their neurological development, among other serious ailments. 2.
Hold on. I know I'm pausing it, but so my sons, right? They were, you know, my sons were born, and they have one has a little bit of autism, has some learnings. So he's not fully like, he's in the spectrum, but he's very low. The other one, we're getting them tested now. My youngest one. I got older ones, but and then my granddaughter, when she was born, her dad, he said, I'm not getting her no vaccines, no nothing. He didn't put nothing in that girl. Nothing. No vaccines, nothing, right? And her development is so crazy. It's so my sons got some vaccines when they were born. And it took a while for him to talk. He wasn't talking during like the normal period when a kid talks. Now, I could attribute it to the vaccines, and I could not, but it's just weird. Both were like, had something that was like, oh man, it's a little late in this. Oh man, what's going on? But my granddaughter, who had no vaccines, this girl was she's bright. I mean, she's just like, you know what I mean? Like, you could see a difference, you know? It's crazy. I don't know.
Man-made viruses and diseases. The AIDS virus, which was a designer byproduct of the American Disease Institute, was distributed through vaccines to the public in 1980. Instituted as a preliminary population control tactic, the results were successful and led to more lab-produced viruses that have since been unleashed onto the public. Among those is the development of a mutated version of the common flu to replicate the 1918 influenza pandemic that killed 40 million people.
God.
The first strain of this new flu virus will be released to the public in late 2017. So if we see a flu outbreak in the late 2017 or early 2018 that's killing people, we'll know this is true.
And he died.
3. Killing us from the air with neurotoxins, barium chloride, cancer microbes, and viruses by way of chemtrails. Released into the skies daily over all inhabited regions by military aircrafts. The effects of these toxins are severe and over time lethal, causing respiratory ailments, cancer, damage to the immune systems, and sterilization in men. Since the chemtrail plan was implemented, sperm count in men has dropped nearly 50%.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I got kids. I got a lot of kids.
The human race will face early extinction.
Oh my good. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I feel like, what's that? Okay, what was the girl's name? What was that woman's name? Let me see. Cooper Milton, Anthony Vargas, Samantha Willis. Anyway, so I would think that, like, I don't know, man. When it comes to, like, the military, because I was in the military, obviously, right? So when you say, the military's doing this and this, that, whatever, like, I would think with the amount of people that we have, with the amount of, and with the rise of the internet and all that stuff, you would have more whistleblowers. It would be more out there. Like, it'd be more prevalent. I'm not saying it's not happening. Like, you don't understand the amount of control that they gotta have to be able to control this. Like, and again, I understand that they do have things like Project Blue Book, right? Which they, it was that project was terminated a while ago, but still they probably called it something different, and we don't know. They got a lot of secret stuff. But you notice every time somebody comes out as a whistleblower, something happens to them. They either get they tarnish their reputation somehow, or they pass away somehow. They disappear, whatever, or they just stop talking about it so that we kind of forget. The key here is to control the masses. But I'm like, how is it? Like, there's so many people in the world, so many people let's just say the United States. There's so many people here in the U.S. And like, I would think like you'd have to control every single person in the military, but you really don't actually. Just key personnel. Those programs where you see maybe the chemtrails, whatever, that's a small group. You can control that small group, you got it. You got it. You know what I mean? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Anyway, guys, let me know if you want to see more of these weird stuff, because I love these videos of weird stuff, ghosts, anything like that. Send me links, or send me the name of a video, or send me something so I could put it on here and we could talk about it. And as always, like and subscribe, follow me on social media. And I'll see you on the next book. And I'm sorry for looking over here because I'm looking at me. I should be looking over here where the finger is.